Let's do a quick review on how to find the slope of a line when you're given its graph. So we have a formula that says slope equals rise over run. And a reminder that slope is just a number that tells you how steep a line is. And I like to say, pretend that this is a hill and we're always walking left to right, just like how we read a book or we write a sentence left to right. And the steeper that hill is, the larger that number is going to be. So this line is going to have a larger slope than this line, for example, because it's a lot flatter. So we want to be able to pick two coordinates on a line that are easy to read off of the graph. So here with my graph, the scale is a little bit interesting because for every 2 boxes, I have 1 unit. So I might actually not want to pick any points along the 0.5. It's just a little bit harder. So I'm just going to pick points that lie on these integer values, and I'm going to write these in to help me out. So one point that I can see that's quite easy to read off is this one. So the x-coordinate's 4, the y-coordinate is 5. Another one would be, if I'm looking around, maybe this one here. Okay, because again, that's another easy one to read. So when I'm trying to use this formula of rise over run, I want you to create a pathway. I want you to pretend that we have a guy or a girl starting at this point. And again, we're always going from left to right. That's why I'm not going to have the person here going down this way. So left to right, we want to go this way. But the rule is the person can only go left, right, up, down. They can't travel along that red line itself. So if I were to draw his pathway, or her pathway, their pathway could look something like this. And I'm going to put arrows as well. So this person would be traveling towards the right here, and then they'd turn a corner, and that's how they'd end up. X marks the spot from point A to point B. Once we've drawn the pathway out, now we can pick out our rise and our run. Now rise gives you the idea of going up, right? So his upward or downward journey is going to be considered the rise. Okay, now, how do I know if the rise is positive or negative? If my arrow shows that this person is traveling up, my rise is going to be positive. If the journey looks like he's going down, that rise is going to be negative. Okay, and it just goes according to up is positive, down is negative here. Same thing for the run. Now, the run, we don't run vertically, right? Like when you go for a run, you're running horizontally. So our run would be this section here. And just like with our number line towards the right, that's positive. If we have to go towards the left, that's going to be a negative number for the run. So now we're going to count units. Now I purposely picked this particular scale because it was a bit trickier. So what we're doing is we're not just counting boxes. We're not just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes. We have to count units. So this starts at 0, 1 unit, 2, 3, 4. So hopefully you can see that if I look along my x-axis, my run is a run of positive 4 because it's going to the right. The rise now, and again, I'm going to count units. Every 2 blocks is 1 unit. So this is 1, 2, 3 units upwards. So upwards is positive, my rise is 3, my run is 4. So using my formula, slope equals rise over run. So instead of writing the word rise, I'm going to replace it with the number 3. Instead of writing the word run, I'm going to replace it with the number 4. And if it's a fraction, I'm going to leave it as a fraction, but I will always try to reduce it if possible. In this case, that's as far down as it can go. And we're going to do a little check. This guy is going upwards as we go left to right, so it makes sense that our slope is positive. Let's look at one more example. When I look at this question, again, I'm going to think about a person traveling left to right. So because this person's going down, I know that my slope is going to be a negative number. So because the person is going from left to right, they're moving downwards, our answer should be a negative. So we're going to keep that in mind. So what does that look like when we're doing rise over run? So once again, we're going to pick 2 points that are convenient to read off. Here's one of them, and here's another. And like we said before, we're pretending that there's a person trying to get from left point to right point, except they can't travel along the diagonal. They have to travel vertically and horizontally. So this person would have to go down this way and then to the right this way. So what does that mean for the rise and the run? We said that rise implies going up and down. So this is our rise. And because I have to go downward, my rise is actually going to be a negative number. Now, negative what? Again, we're not just going to count boxes, we're going to count units. So from 1 to 0, that's 1 unit. This is one more unit, so my rise is -2. This person has to go down 2 units. The run is still going in the positive direction, and it's going in the positive direction of 1 unit. So my run is going to equal a +1. What does that mean for our formula? So slope equals rise over run. Rise is -2, which actually means it went down. And the run was 1. When I reduce this, I get a -2. So the slope for this equation is going to be a -2. One final thing, remember that the equation of a line in slope y-intercept form looks like this. So what you've just found for this line is actually this number there. Hope that helped. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe.